It's Monday, March 9th. Strong reaction in Iran as the son of the late Ayatollah is chosen as the next supreme leader.
We haven't seen any spikes really of this magnitude until going back as far as the 1970s.
Oil prices have broken through the $100 US a barrel mark as the industry shows signs of buckling under the weight of war.
From Boychuk, stayed out off the post. Now walking in is Rudolph, he'll score.
And the PA Raiders back on top in the East. Stay with us. Saskatchewan, your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Monday.
How about those gas prices?
Oh my goodness, it's a bad day to be on empty.
Oh, even the cheap places around the province are.
Yeah, I know. So definitely, I'd say go fill up, but that ship has sailed. So
time to buy.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's time to start biking to work. Me and you on the road at 4 a.m. on the bikes.
Here's why the gas prices are getting so high. Let's get to news. Iran has officially named its new supreme leader this morning. Iranian state television announced that Mujtaba Khamenei is the new supreme leader. He's the son of the late Ayatollah, who was killed 8 days ago. The decision was made by Iran's Assembly of Experts, which is a group of top cleric. As supreme leader, he will have final say on all of Iran's state decisions. He's seen as a hardliner. Experts say his ascent as supreme leader will likely irritate the U.S. president.
As far as I can tell, in Washington should be a wake-up call, because whatever political agenda President Trump had in terms of changing Iran, right now that agenda is not happening.
The old Ayatollah was killed by a strike on his compound in the early days of the war. Israel has vowed to strike whoever takes his place. Sunday marked International Women's Day, and the Queen City had plenty of events leading up to the day, including an annual Inspiring Leadership Forum at the Bungie International Trade Center. That event, put on by the University of Regina, is a leadership development event focused on women. This year's iteration featured keynote speakers like Kyla Guru, a 21-year-old Stanford student, who founded Bits and Bytes, a cybersecurity education company.
It's not often that you get to bring people physically together into spaces that feel safe and feel warm and welcoming in technology, specifically for women. So it's a very unique opportunity for women in Saskatchewan and professional women.
Other keynote speakers at the event, of course, included Christine Sinclair. The annual Warman Cheer Classic returned to the Warman Home Centre Communiplex over the weekend. Jeremy Dodge, exciting time for those athletes.
Yeah, a huge event. Over 210 cheer, dance, and pom teams from across Canada showcasing their skills. The event is Saskatchewan's largest cheerleading and dance competition and the largest world's bid event, with an estimated 32,000 athletes competing.
I think it's great to see all the different styles, who's doing what. They watch each other on Instagram and, TikTok and all the things. So like watching them and getting to meet each other and just, cheering each other on.
This year marked the 19th time the event was hosted in Warman. And Saskatoon Youth Soccer's mini Cisco Festival returned over the weekend. 126 local teams, over 1,200 young athletes took part in a soccer tournament, an annual event, an opportunity for soccer players under 9 to see what a tournament is like. Intended to get kids involved in soccer, all who participated received a gold medal, and the young athletes who spoke with CTV say that was their favorite part.
It just felt like my heart was very warm. The best, and I give it 2 thumbs up because I think we tied the team.
A total of 189 games were played over the weekend. Well, Daryl, a major fundraiser in Regina this weekend.
Yeah, the Hospitals of Regina Foundation getting a funding boost thanks to those who spent an evening in Greece. The 32nd annual Gala was held Saturday night at the Delta Hotel, featuring Greek cuisine, live music, dancing, of course, and the breaking of the plates. Proceeds go to the HRF and Autism Resource Center. It's raised more than $3 million over the last 31 years. Prince Albert Raiders back on top of the WHL East.
From Boychuk, stayed out off the post. Now walking in is Rudolph, he'll score.
Watch Justice Christensen dance through a maze of players and a broken stick to pick up that goal. 16th of the season. Raiders pick up a 4-3 win in Edmonton. They've won 7 of their last 10.
Fawcett trying to reach it, worked it ahead. Here comes Maddox Schultz in over, shooting, he scores!
Maddox Schultz goes bar down to spark the comeback for the Pats. They clawed their way back to earn a single point in this one, but it was former Pat Julian Mays scoring his 35th of the year in overtime. Here it comes to lift the Hitmen to a 4-3 win. Takes us to the Weather Center and what we can expect for this Monday.
Well, we're talking about temperatures that aren't bad. They're right around the seasonal average. It's just still feeling and looking like winter out there this week. Unfortunately, we do have some more snow in the forecast. I'll show you where in just a moment. Let's talk about current temperatures here in Regina. -13 to wake us up. We have winds coming in at 17 kilometers per hour, so that has been reduced quite a bit from what we were hearing overnight. Some clouds up in the sky right now to wake us up. The sun should be up very soon. Not as many of those clouds in areas around Saskatoon. We are waking up to -17 though, and winds very calm to start your day. Right now just coming in at 6 kilometers per hour. We did see some of that snow yesterday, which I have to tell you, I breathed a bit of a sigh of relief because I was saying that it was coming. It just didn't come until later on into the afternoon for Regina. You can take a look at how this came in the evening hours though. Now currently we're not seeing a whole lot in the province. Just a bit of cloud cover here and there, some patches of clear skies right around Saskatoon, as we mentioned, around Swift Current right now, and around the Parkland region. Into the afternoon, we do see some more of that snow moving into the province. The Battleford's going to be seeing some of that snow, Lloydminster, through Prince Albert as well. You can see it going over top of Saskatoon. We're not exactly predicting that it's going to be snowing there, but you could be seeing just a few flakes this afternoon. And then through Estevan, we're going to start seeing some of those flakes likely overnight and into tomorrow morning. Looking forward to Tuesday afternoon. It does go down quite a bit, but you can still see just a few of those purple patches on your screen around Prince Albert and around Swift Current as well. Let's talk about temperatures for this afternoon, though. Again, as I mentioned, right around the seasonal average, especially in Saskatoon, -3. That's almost right on the nose for the average this time of year. In Regina, -5. That is slightly below by just a couple degrees, that average. 0 degrees for Swift Current with that cloud cover, -1 in Moose Jaw, -3 for Weyburn and Estevan, -9 for Yorkton with the mix of sun and cloud this afternoon, and -9 for Prince Albert. And we just talked about those flakes that are on the way this afternoon. Let's turn our attention now to that 7-day forecast. Getting a little bit warmer tomorrow, up to -2, then up to those positive temperatures on Wednesday, 3 degrees expected, -1 on Thursday. That's when we're talking about some more cloud cover moving in for quite a few days and to carry us into the weekend with a few flurries on Friday, -4 on that day, -8 on Saturday, and -9 on Sunday, mix of sun and cloud. In Saskatoon, -5 tomorrow, up to 0 degrees on Wednesday, -6 on Thursday. Again, expecting that cloud cover to be increasing on that day. -8 on Friday, a few flakes on the way, -12 on Saturday, and -10 for Sunday.
I'm here with my friend. And we're feeling excited, motivated to get off our phones.
These New Jersey high schoolers have embarked on a major challenge.
It's been 121 hours blocked, and honestly, it's been amazing.
For 1 week, the teens did not use their favorite social media apps and were encouraged to hang out with their friends in real life, try new activities, and cut down on screen time.
I just really thought it was going to be difficult because I was spending so much time on it. So I thought I didn't really know what I was going to do with all that time.
It's an initiative launched by the Balance Project, a nonprofit that aims to help children foster a healthy relationship with their screens.
A lot of people believe it's too late for teenagers, and we at the Balance Project just didn't believe it. We knew that there was a way to show these teenagers that real life is actually more interesting.
Working in teams, the participants restricted access to apps of their choosing, keeping track of the hours they spent on their smartphones and earning points and prizes along the way.
We're having a great time. It's so pretty outside.
The Balance Project partnering with local businesses to offer free social activities for the students to enjoy.
Being able to talk face to face, having more conversations, that just made me feel like it had more impact on my life and it had more meaning.
It was really cool because it's just like every conversation is so much more meaningful when a phone's not involved because it just feels so much more real. I've realized how little I actually need my phone to enjoy the everyday little things in life.
And parents say the experience has been eye-opening for them as well.
Teach your kids what it was like when you were a kid. And I think that's the one battle you want to have is get them off their devices and get them outside and meeting with people in real life.
Now, completing the challenge, some of the teens say social media no longer feels like a massive part of their lives.
After we unblocked the apps, it just seemed a little bit boring because we realized that there's so many other things we can do.
Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Well, in case you missed it, the Netherlands is standing on top of the cheese world. This year's winner of the World Championship Cheese Contest is a Dutch team. Their Beemster Royale Grand Cru scored 99.68 out of a 100 at the competition in Wisconsin. The runner-up is an aged Appenzeller, I think I said that right, I don't know, from Switzerland. 25 different countries took part this year.
Oh, well, now we know that.
Well, now I want to take a big bite.
Isn't that good?
I would love to try world record or world championship winning cheese.
Yeah, who doesn't love cheese?
World championship anything, I'm in. Let's get to our question of the day. Yesterday was International Women's Day, so we want to celebrate with you on television.
Yeah, so we want to ask you, tell us about a woman who inspires you. I have the longest list ever.
Hit it.
No, I have to go last. Jeremy, you go first.
Oh, here's his plugged for his wife. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, my wife, my daughter,
as it should
my
be.
mother, and my two sisters-in-law, all incredible women. Well, I guess my daughter's not quite a woman yet, but you know. You get
Close.
it.
Yeah.
Close.
What about
Come on, you got
No,
a
I have I have such an insanely amazing group of women friends. And of course, my mother inspires me, my grandmother, one of the best women I've ever met. But just like, I am so blessed with the biggest group of women who inspire me around me every single day.
Oh, well, there's no names in that. My grandmother started a Retired Teachers Foundation in Alberta. She was a mother of 7. Like, my goodness, like, there's some incredible stories out there. We want to hear who inspires you. So scan that QR code. We'll take a look over the city of Regina as you fill up your coffee cup. And we'll be back on location with Jeff Rogstad in just 2 minutes.
Global oil prices smashed through the $100 U.S. mark in overnight trading as the U.S. vowed to continue its war on Iran, stoking deeper concerns about the fate of crude shipments through the world's most important transport route, the Strait of Hormuz, which handles about a fifth of the world's energy traffic each day. It's been at a virtual standstill since the conflict began on February 28th, with tankers unable to pass through safely and storage facilities brimming with unsold product. Now, that has added massive upward pressure on global crude prices, with Brent futures contracts, the global benchmark, rising to as high as $119.50 a barrel in overnight trading. That's a near 80% increase over the past 12 days and the highest in nearly 4 years. Now, G7 finance ministers are set to discuss a possible joint release of oil reserves on Monday. According to people familiar with the matter, this is that Middle East war chokes flow from the region. France, which currently holds the G7 presidency, initiated plans for the call, saying the people who asked not to be identified discussing private deliberations. The French government saying in a statement that the use of strategic reserves is being considered. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
It is time to reintroduce you to the CTV Saskatoon Citizen of the Year. And for that, we turn things over to Jeff Rogstad, who is standing by with the nominator.
We've just been honoring Mildred Kerr. She is 2025 CTV Saskatoon Citizen of the Year, and the person who put forth the nomination, Dwayne Brenna. So first of all, Dwayne, thank you for doing that.
Oh, thank you for having me here.
So let's talk a little bit about the reasons behind. What was it about Mildred Kerr that made you want to put forth that nomination?
Well, I've known Mildred for 30 years. Her husband was my thesis advisor at university, and so I got to know her then. I was amazed at the breadth and the length of time she spent working for the public good in this city, and for no recompense. Just the fact that she was, out there doing this work in the late 60s, early 1970s, Open Door Society, and Equal Justice for All, the Saskatoon Food Bank. These are foundations of our city right now, and so she's been an inspiration, and she's been a quiet inspiration. She never talks about herself. I mean, she will get up on the soapbox a little bit if you want to talk about social justice in Saskatoon. But until you bring that up, she's very self-effacing, of course.
So in 30 seconds or less, I understand that she didn't want this nomination to go forward.
Yeah, when I finally had to phone her, I tried to keep her in the dark about the award, but I finally had to get some serious information to put in the nomination package, and she said, no, Dwayne, this can't be happening. Please, don't put this nomination forward. We did anyway. Guys like Peter Preble, Elaine Maximiak, Angel Mackay wrote letters of support, and it went over the top. And when she finally got the award, she phoned me up when she heard about it and said, Dwayne, it's your fault.
Well, we're glad you did. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Well, the University of Saskatchewan Huskies are women's basketball national champions.
Murphy Wade, the bronze baby, will be extending its stay at the Pack for the fourth time in school.
He's hoisted the Bronze Baby Trophy for the second straight year, beating the University of New Brunswick 77-68 over the weekend. Logan Ryder poured in a team-leading 19 points. Ella Murphy, who had 13, was named tournament MVP. This was the Huskies' fourth championship of all time. Dinos from Calgary won the bronze. Matt Dunstone has won his first Montana's Brier.
Matt Dunstone from the Granite in Winnipeg. Harnden, as the crowd starts to respond. Make it go away. And there they go. And he is the Heartbreak Kid no more. Matt Dunstone wins the Montana.
Dunstone and Team Manitoba get it done, knocking off the undefeated Alberta rink. After losing 2 of the last 3 Brier finals, Dunstone claims his first national championship. He will represent Canada later this month at the World Men's Curling Championship in Utah. Manitoba wins the 2026 Montana's Brier 6-3 the final. Let's hear from the skip.
It's hard to put into words. I mean, there's been so much work put into this, a lot of heartbreak along the way. This exact moment feels way better than I ever could have imagined it would.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at -13 right now. Winds are low to start your day. In Saskatoon, -15 currently, so a little bit cooler, but not a bad start to the day. By lunchtime in Regina, -8 with a mix of sun and cloud. Winds remaining low into the afternoon. -9 at your lunchtime hour in Saskatoon. By final bell, -5. That is the expected daytime high in Regina, but by final bell in Saskatoon, -4. That is just below the expected daytime high of -3, which will be hitting a little bit later on into the afternoon today. As we go to break, here's a look at those staggering gas prices. Hopefully you've already got a full tank. The common price in Regina is $149.9. The lowest you might find is $127.9. In Saskatoon, the common price $150.9. The lowest you might find is $141.9. In the farm markets this morning, we find the street price of canola at $669.83 per ton and the futures price $719.90 per ton. Amber Durum wheat now at $278.59 per ton and red spring wheat at $274.38 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is up this morning. It's at 73.46 cents US. We'll be right back.
Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Laying Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Enter online at ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca. Scan the QR code on your screen, and good luck.
.30, welcome back to Your Morning. Let's get to your news. A date for 3 upcoming federal by-elections has now been announced.
Governments typically only call by-elections when they expect they can win them. And so I have a sneaky suspicion that the Liberals are feeling optimistic about their prospects in Terrebonne.
And so it looks like Carney, knock on wood, for him, has a real chance to secure that majority, albeit literally by 1 seat.
2 of the by-elections are in Toronto. The other is in Quebec. The Toronto seats were left vacant by the departures of Bill Blair and Chrystia Freeland. The by-elections will be held April 13th. Voting for the next federal NDP leader starts today. There are 5 candidates vying to replace Jagmeet Singh. They are Rob Ashton, Tenniel Johnston, Avi Lewis, Heather McPherson, and Tony McQuail. Party members can vote online or by mail. The race ends at the leadership convention on March 29th. This morning, Israel has launched a new round of strikes on Lebanon and Iran. According to the Israeli military, it struck Hezbollah infrastructure in Beirut and newly launched strikes in central Iran against the Iranian regime's infrastructure. Reports indicate Iran has struck long-range ballistic missile launch sites and buildings used as headquarters for Iran's forces. In Israel, air sirens are sounding in Haifa, warning of Iranian missiles. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard announced new missile launches just hours after the country named its new supreme leader. Closer to home, people in Calgary are once again being asked to conserve water as work starts on the next phase of repairs.
We will pour a lot of concrete on the pipe, and then it'll take about 7 days to cure. And then following that is backfill and putting the pipe back into service.
It's part of a 4-week job to repair several vulnerable sections of the South Bearspaw feeder main. Calgarians are again being asked to keep showers to 3 minutes or less, limit toilet flushes, and only run full loads of laundry or dishes. The repairs are part of a larger project, including a $439 million cost to replace the feeder main by the end of the year. This is the 3rd time the city has imposed voluntary water measures over the past 2 years because of faulty water mains. This year's flu season is winding down, but its impact has been severe.
We had a constant stream of really significantly and sometimes critically ill and deathly ill people coming in with influenza.
There have been more than 102,000 flu cases across Canada since late August, and Alberta has seen its deadliest flu season in recent years with 255 deaths from the virus. Health experts say it can be blamed on a mismatch between the vaccine and virus, as well as low vaccination rates and the strain itself. Alcohol sales are down across Canada, with the biggest drop in nearly 20 years. Sales of alcoholic beverages fell 1.6% to $25.8 billion in the 2024-25 fiscal year, which is the biggest drop in 20 years. That Stats Canada is tracked, in beer, wine and spirit sales across Canada all down. It comes after a number of studies and polls showing younger generations are drinking less. Local basketball official is vying for a world record Saturday. He had the last step in the process. Jacob Carr reports.
Unbeknownst to Martirana, his son Aaron, who is also a referee, surprised him by stepping in to officiate alongside his father.
That was really emotional because, like I said, you don't know what's going to happen in a year, and we've played together. I coached him when he was playing ball, high school. And it's been a long journey for both of us, and this was really, really special.
With the significance of this game for his father, Aaron told CTV News it had been planned for a while to officiate the contest together. The fact that he was able to keep it a surprise and see Michael's reaction was just icing on the cake.
We kind of had it planned for about a month now that I was going to do this last game with him, and just to make it that much more special, there were several members of the RCBA board that were here. My mom's here, my sisters are here. Yeah, it was a really good thing. I found it really special.
While Michael has been officiating basketball games in the Queen City for 30 years now, he has just 1 year of seniority in that field on Aaron. Michael says before he became an official, he loathed them. So naturally, Aaron followed suit.
That year he reffed, we butted heads the whole year because I couldn't believe he was actually reffing. I still considered them the dark side, but he, over the course of the year, convinced me to do it. I started the following year, and I've been doing it ever since, and I love it.
The father-son duo officiated a Regina Community Basketball Association playoff game on Saturday, and with 59 years of combined experience, the contest was in good hands.
It's going to be over-officiated at this level kind of thing because, like, you know, he refs at the highest level here. I haven't refed at that high level for a long time, but I do elementary school all during the week, you know, and so sometimes it gets really competitive, and I like it because they're small gyms. I don't have to run as much.
If you ask this reporter, even at the age of 80, Martirana can still get up and down the court just fine. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
All right, it's time for a look outside at this beautiful weather picture. This is brought to you by Affinity Wealth Management. We know investing. If you're waking up with us from Regina this morning, we're still at -13. Not a bad start to the day. Pretty typical for this time of year. Winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour, and we do have some clouds up in the sky right now. In Saskatoon, -15. We have seen just a few very light flakes out there this morning. Don't worry too much about that for your day, though. Let's turn our attention to these current temperatures because yet again, we have returned to seeing those really cool temperatures up north for the mornings. It's -37 to wake us up in Stony Rapids, although we don't officially have those cold warnings back, so not so bad. -23 in La Ronge, -20 in Prince Albert, -19 in Melfort and Hudson Bay, and -22 to wake us up in Spiritwood. Down towards the south, we are seeing some more of that blue color, -5 in East End, -8 in Moose Jaw, -10 in Weyburn, and -17 to wake us up in Yorkton. Later on this afternoon, we will be seeing some snow in some areas around the Battlefords and Prince Albert. -2 for the Battlefords with that snow. -9 in Prince Albert, -9 in Yorkton with a mix of sun and cloud. -5 in Regina, -3 for Saskatoon, and some cloud cover down towards the south. Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, and Estevan, all right around those seasonal averages. And let's talk more about those averages, though. So Regina today, as we talked about the high, -5. The average this time of year is -2.0, so we are below that. In Saskatoon, though, the average is -3.1, and we're expecting -3 this afternoon, so right on that seasonal average. Last year in Regina, we reached 3.3, and last year in Saskatoon, 1.1, so we are below where we were at last year. And the record back in the year 1973, 11.7 for Regina on this day, March 9th, and back in the year 1905, that was 10.6 degrees in Saskatoon. Your 5-day forecast looking still like we're seeing a lot of winter on the way. We do have some snow in the forecast. -2 though tomorrow, so we are warming up by just a little bit. 3 degrees on Wednesday, so we will be seeing some positive temperatures this week. -1 on Thursday and Friday. -4 with some of those flakes on the way. In Saskatoon, -5 with a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. 0 degrees on Wednesday. Some more cloud cover expected to roll through the province starting on Thursday. -6, -8 on Friday. Again, with more of that snow on the way. By the end of the day today, here's what you can expect for those snow totals. The Battleford's expecting 5 more centimeters to fall, and Prince Albert expecting about 1 centimeter.
We started farming in 2013. We purchased this land. We're a first-generation farm.
Our kids are involved with. The United Nations declared 2026 the first International Year of the Woman Farmer. Saskatchewan leads the charge, as you'd expect, with on-farm conservation projects. Megan Meyer is farming out in the Priestville area and taking a break from her busy schedule to be with us this morning. Megan, thank you for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome.
What does this award mean to you?
It's an honor to be recognized, and Alice, thank you for nominating me. It's a really rewarding job, I feel, to be able to provide food for my family, food for my community, and also the world.
First generation farmer, why'd you guys decide to do this?
Oh, yeah. Well, it started as just, I want to have good quality food for my family. And we had an opportunity to purchase this farm. We knew we had to, we don't have a lot of acres. We're quite a unique farm, I think, diversified. So we have cattle, we have poultry, now we've added grain. And like I said, I think it's really rewarding to be able to grow good food, steward the land well, and make food for the world.
Megan, you've linked up rather with this group called ALUS. What are they all about, and what has it meant to what you guys are trying to accomplish out there?
Yeah, well, we were introduced to ALUS through our Assiniboine watershed. We were able to partner with some different projects, wildlife restoration. We want to steward the land well, make sure we're leaving it better for the next generation. We've had other projects like our rotational grazing project, which helps increase the biodiversity of the land, helps increase the production of our pasture land. And also we did a cover crop project with them. So we were able to lead this project, but also have consultation from them and some monetary compensation too.
This helps, of course. What does it mean to you to be a woman farmer? And what do you say to others out there who might be thinking about doing the same thing you did and buy a farm and start going?
Well, it's a rewarding job. Again, I would say go for it. There might be, you might need to start relationships with people to try to be able to, get some land. And women have a unique contribution to make. I work alongside my family and my 5 kids, and we have such a great lifestyle. I've been able to teach them. They've been able to learn a lot, work ethic, again, caring for the land, caring for the animals. And it's just a really, really great job.
Oh, it's just a fabulous story. You've got a couple of young daughters there. It is on the heels of International Women's Day. What do you say to other women out there who look to you to be inspirational?
Wow. Well, I think I saw other women farmers before I became doing what I'm doing too. So I know that there's a lot of women out there doing an amazing job, leading farms in supporting roles. They're able to bring a really unique perspective, and don't sell yourself short. I think we can make a really big contribution in this industry.
Certainly not alone. There are about 78,000 to 79,000 women doing what you do, and we thank you for your contributions and your efforts, Megan.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Laura Dykin here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, let's head to Buffalo for some rough stuff. For a lot of rough stuff. Opening period between the Lightning and Sabres, and a bit of a back and forth between the opposing players here, and that brings a crowd. Brandon Hagel right in the middle of it. The Team Canada Olympian dropping the gloves with Peyton Krebs, a spirited tilt. And this game was bananas. A total of 102 penalty minutes dished out between the two teams. In the second period, they kept it going. Hagel wants to fight Rasmus Dahlin, unloading on the Swede. Numerous punches thrown, leading to another wild scene. My best advice, head to tsn.ca to check out the full highlights of this one. They did play a hockey game. It was an 8-7 final. It's just a taste of all the chaos of old school hockey in Buffalo on Sunday. Well, tonight on TSN, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder will host the Denver Nuggets. Tip-off for that one coming at 6:30 Central Time. That does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
The RCMP Heritage Center is hosting a night of interactive mystery. And Janelle Lippi on location this morning with the details. Good morning, Janelle.
Hi, Jeremy. Good morning. Lots of fun ahead of us here, and I've got Sam Carica's with me as well. We're going to talk all about the upcoming event, Foul Play. Now, Sam, tell me a little bit about this event and what it holds.
So Foul Play this is actually our second annual Foul Play. This is a partnership with our friends at the Regina District Chamber of Commerce. We did it last year. We brought it back because it was such a huge hit, and it is an interactive crime-solving experience with a dinner.
Wow, so this sounds like a lot of fun, and a ton of work has been put into it. Tell me a little bit about what is in front of us on this table. These are some of the props that go into it as well.
Absolutely. So we're really proud. The Heritage Center actually creates the crime itself, so it's not something that we purchase and then we kind of have people do. Our team actually creates it. We create it based on actual crimes, based on news stories, based on and just imagination. And so when people come to the dinner, they will, every round, every course, they'll get a new set of evidence. So they're trying to solve the crime before the dinner is over. You will actually get an envelope of evidence every single round.
Wow. Okay, so very realistic, a lot of fun. When is this happening?
This is on March 12th, and it's from 6 to 10 p.m., and you can get tickets online at the Regina Chamber.
Awesome, Sam. All right, well, thank you so much for this. We'll be back soon with a little bit more information. Once again, that is coming up March 12th, 6 to 10 p.m.
All right, Janelle, thank you very much. Very interesting. We'll check back in with you next hour.
It's March 9th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated wish from over the weekend. Happy birthday to Lynn. She marked another trip around the sun on Saturday. We hope it was a great day. Lots of love from your husband, Bruce. And a big happy birthday going out to Caden today. He is now officially a teenager. Happy 13th birthday. This shout out coming from your mom, Devin, Noah, and the cats. Turning 65 today is Candy. Happy birthday to you, with a ton of love coming your way from your husband, kids, grandkids, and great-grandbaby. Also celebrating today is Charla. Happy birthday to you. Lots of love from Joanne and Mervyn. Have a fantastic day.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Chase, I'm surprised to see you there. Your wife and Brandon's wife did such a fabulous job yesterday. I thought they'd just continue.
I was kind of hoping that too, and then when I nudged her this morning to wake her up to come here, she's like, "Nah, you go back in." Maybe they'll take Brandon's afternoon show where they can sleep in
Poor
a little
fella.
bit more.
What's going on today?
Today we're excited. We're getting the lineup here for Country Thunder. Like, everyone's slotting into schedule. We're going to get the day schedules for that too. And then day passes will be going on sale coming up on Friday. We, of course, will have more passes for the entire weekend to give away too, with the March to Country Thunder, 8:20. We'll get you your song of the day. And on top of that, I'm just putting it out there. Like, my birthday's not till end of November, but if you're looking for something to get me, Dallas Smith actually shared this on his story over the weekend on Instagram. program. The Rhino from Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, is now up for auction right now. One of the most infamous movie props of all time. It is skyrocketing in price. It's up to $16,000 at this moment, but hey, I think I'm worth it. So if you want to grab me that, or actually we're going to look at some of the other props on that website too, because there are there's some gems out there.
All right, it's time for your Monday morning weather or not. Are you both ready?
I think so.
All right.
Go.
If you suffer from nephophobia, what do you fear? Is it thunderstorms, livestock, rain, clouds, or birds? What do you think?
Gee,
Well,
what do you think?
it's got to be weather related, I'm guessing. So I'm going to say rain. No, rain.
Final answer?
Yeah, you want to call a friend on that?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with D. I'm going to go with clouds.
All right. It is D, clouds. Nephophobia involves an outsized fear of clouds that causes marked anxiety and distress. Simply the fear of clouds.
This world is intricately stitched together, boys. Every thread we pull, we know not how it affects the design of things.
The Academy Awards have gotten more international in recent years. One of Train Dream's 4 nominations is for its Brazilian cinematographer, Adolfo Veloso. Meanwhile, Brazil's The Secret Agent also has 4 nominations, including Best Picture and Best International Feature, an award won last year by another Brazilian film, I'm Still Here.
In this moment we're living, I feel like it's amazing to represent not only Brazil, but Latin America, to represent all the immigrants in a very delicate moment. And I feel like this only shows how people all over the world are amazing, and we should be hearing everybody, and we should be paying attention to all those voices.
Of course, it was our friendship. Well, had the key that made Flea and Anthony sound the best they could be.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers' first guitarist, Hillel Slovak, gets his due in The Rise of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Our Brother Hillel. The documentary looks at how a childhood friend helped shape the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer's sound. The film debuts March 20th on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Let's start out our sidebar with a taste test gone viral.
I offered my alpacas blackberries.
Bake is one of the alpacas. Loved it. Happy little shimmy dance. An approval cheddar.
Yeah.
Not so sure. 35 million views on this, of course.
Was that a good shimmy or a bad shimmy? Was that it's so good, it's sending shock through my body?
Probably it's like a sour reaction,
a new sensation.
Ugh.
All right, I like it.
All shimmies are good shimmies.
All right, sticking with the animal eating theme, here's a cute canine, also known as the King of Crunch. This is Leo. He just can't stop bobbing for cucumbers. Every slurp and crunch, he's getting hydrated and he's getting his veggies. There's no downside here.
He's anger eating because of that stupid hat.
You know, I know my mom is watching this morning and she hates the sound of people eating. And I just know she's flipping the channel right now.
Well, then let's turn up the volume and let it take us right into break.
Bye, Mom.
March 9th.
Tell the government of Canada, government of the whole world, that what we want, what the people of Iran want.
Iranians in Canada are clear in their call for change. This is the Liberals are looking to hold to debate on where Canada stands on the conflict.
We haven't seen any spikes really of this magnitude until going back as far as the 1970s.
Oil prices have broken through the $100 US a barrel mark as the industry shows signs of buckling under the weight of war.
Murphy Wade, the bronze baby, will be extending its stay at the pack.
with a 4.
And the U of S Huskies women's basketball team national champs again. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Monday.
Congratulations to the Huskies women's basketball team. What an accomplishment. The men, I think, won the hockey U Sports title as well over the weekend.
Yeah, but on International Women's Day yesterday too. So City of Champions for sure. But congratulations to all.
A lot of wind blowing across the prairies from BC all the way to Saskatchewan made a mess.
Yeah, so thankfully we're not seeing those winds anymore today. Winds have gone down substantially. Temperatures also going down in quite a few places compared to the weekend when we saw those nice temps.
What is going up? The price of gas. If you haven't seen it yet, don't look. Let's get to news. Iran has officially named its new supreme leader, and reaction has been swift. ABC's Ian Pannell leads us off.
This morning, as the US-Israeli war in Iran rages on, the regime selecting a new supreme leader. State media reporting that a week after Ayatollah Khamenei's killing, his son, 56-year-old Mujtaba Khamenei, has been chosen to succeed him. The younger Khamenei is expected to follow his father's hardline policies. Trump now considering sending US special forces into Iran to seize the country's nuclear stockpile.
We wouldn't do it now. Maybe we'd do it later.
The news coming amid an intense new wave of US and Israeli strikes Sunday. Israel targeting the country's energy infrastructure with a huge attack on multiple oil refineries in Tehran. This fire seen from miles away. Videos circulating online showing streets on fire. Iran says well over 1,000 people have been killed so far, the American death toll rising again this morning. The Pentagon announcing that a U.S. service member wounded in an Iranian strike on a base in Saudi Arabia on March 1st has passed away from their injuries. Despite degrading its missile capabilities, Iran retaliating across the region. Now, even the region's water supply, critical for survival in the Gulf Desert, being hit. A freshwater desalination plant in Bahrain attacked by drones, not long after the U.S. was accused of attacking a similar plant in Iran.
Ian Pannell, ABC News.
The Prime Minister has called the incident response group together to talk about the war in Iran. Their meeting focused on how to keep Canadians in the region safe and working with allies to de-escalate the conflict. Prime Minister Mark Carney also said in a social media post that he spoke with the U.S. President yesterday afternoon and they have agreed to stay in close contact. International Women's Day this weekend on Sunday, and at the Bungie International Trade Center in Regina, they held their inaugural event geared towards encouraging young girls to create business ideas. Jacob Carr reports.
In Regina, there seemed to be a common theme in the week leading up to International Women's Day, young female entrepreneurs, one of which was Kyla Guru, a keynote speaker at the University of Regina's Inspiring Leadership Forum.
It's not often that you get to bring people physically together into spaces that feel safe and feel warm and welcoming in technology, specifically for women. So it's a very unique opportunity for women in Saskatchewan.
The 21-year-old Stanford student says she started putting the pieces together for her company at just 14 years old. Guru saw a prevalence of cyber attacks going on around her and wanted to come up with a solution to protect people.
So I started educating in schools, K-12 schools, to talk about cyber. It actually just started with my former elementary school. I went in and I did a 30-minute session to talk about my top 10 tips on staying safe, and it snowballed from there.
On Sunday, it was the inaugural She Means Business Build a Business workshop. There were plenty of female industry leaders on hand to lend their expertise to the next generation of female entrepreneurs.
We've had this idea for quite a while, but really was wanting to start the entrepreneurship journey as early as we could and show them kind of the support from the local community and other women business leaders in the community about what's possible.
Peterson says the biggest aim of the workshop is the passing down of knowledge and to show the young girls in attendance what is possible for their futures.
The biggest thing is we're going to take them all through little workshops, but we're going to have little confidence builders in between. So there's going to be some high fives, there's going to be some icebreakers, they're going to talk about their superpowers. Just really trying to keep it fun and light for the girls. I've seen everything from a slime business to a kids spa, so sounds like they're having fun.
International Women's Day truly bringing out the entrepreneurial spirit this year. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Jeremy, let's go to one of the biggest athletic competitions in Warman.
Yeah, the annual Warman Cheer Classic. Back at the Warman Home Center Communiplex over the weekend, over 210 cheer, dance, and pom teams from across Canada showcasing their skills. Now, the event is Saskatchewan's largest cheerleading and dance competition and the largest world's bid event, with an estimated 32,000 athletes competing.
I think it's great to see all the different styles, who's doing what. They watch each other on Instagram and, TikTok and all the things. So, like, watching them and getting to meet each other and just, cheering each other on.
This year marked the 19th time the event was hosted in Warman. Saskatoon Youth Soccer's mini Cisco Festival returning over the weekend. 126 local teams with over 1,200 young athletes taking part in the soccer tournament. Annual event's an opportunity for soccer players under 9 years old to see what a tournament is like. It's intended to get kids involved in soccer, and all who participated got a gold medal, which was pretty special to the young athletes who spoke with CTV. They said it was their favorite part.
It just felt like my heart was very warm. The best, and I give it 2 thumbs up because I think we tied the team.
A total of 189 games played over the weekend.
Come on.
Daryl, some big money raised in Regina over the weekend.
Yeah, warmed hearts like that little heartbreaker. My goodness. The Hospitals Regina Foundation getting a big boost thanks to those who spent an evening in Greece. 32nd annual Gala event held Saturday night at the Delta Hotel in Regina, featuring Greek cuisine, live music, dancing, of course, and the traditional breaking of the plates. Proceeds go to the HRF and the Autism Resource Center. It raised over $3 million over the past 3 decades. There go the plates. Let's talk hockey. The Raiders of Prince Albert back on top of the WHL East.
From Boychuk, stayed out off the post. Now walking in is Rudolph. He'll score.
They didn't even chuck the plates. They were just smashing them together. Justice Christensen smashing that back of the net. 16th of the season. Raiders pick up a 4-3 win in Edmonton. They've won 7 of their last 10.
Fawcett trying to reach it, worked it ahead. Here comes Maddox Schultz in over, shooting. He scores!
Maddox Schultz. He seems like he might be pretty good. Bar down. The comeback fell short, though. They fell 4-3 in overtime. It was Julian Mays, the former Regina Pat, who got his 35th of the year to seal the deal. There he goes. It's going to break your heart. Let's get over to the Weather Center and join Keely and Sawaski. Big wind yesterday, and it seems like it's calmed down now.
Yes, thankfully, we have seen those winds go down. We've also been watching the temperatures go down as well. Over the weekend, we saw some fabulous temperatures. A lot of those positive numbers across the province. Not really seeing that today. I'll show you that in just a moment here. But in Regina currently right now, we're at -13 still. So that temperature hasn't really budged so far this morning since that 6 o'clock hour. Winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. That is an improvement compared to where we were at yesterday. And into the afternoon hours, we're not really going to be seeing those going up in areas around Regina. Around Kindersley is where we could be seeing those go up to about 40 kilometers per hour with those gusts. In Saskatoon, -16 right now. Also not going to be seeing those high winds today. We are going to be seeing some clouds increasing into the afternoon hours, though, so be prepared for that. Let's talk about some hot and cold spots. The Saskatchewan hot spot right now, Mankota, you are at -5.0. The Saskatchewan cold spot is Key Lake at -39.3. Very cold up in the north. The Canadian hot spot is in Ontario. It's been fluctuating between St. Catharines, Niagara region and Wyerton. Right now, Wyerton is at 10.2 degrees. And the Canadian cold spot is Mold Bay, Northwest Territories, -42.1 this morning. Futurecast showing we are going to be getting some more snow today in some places, mainly around the Battlefords, Lloydminster, Prince Albert, going to be seeing some of those flakes into the afternoon hours as well. You can see the system going right over top of Saskatoon. We're not actually expecting Saskatoon to get any significant totals of that snow, though. Into overnight and tomorrow morning, we see a few of those flakes in areas around Regina and around Estevan as well. Into the afternoon hours, still kind of concentrating over top of Estevan. Now, total snowfall, as we mentioned, we're not expecting any significant snowfall around Saskatoon, although you just saw that system go right over top of the city, so maybe just a few flakes there. But the Battleford's expecting 5 centimeters of snow by the end of the day today. Prince Albert only expecting about 1 centimeter. Today's forecast with those flurries, we'll be seeing -2 for the Battlefords and -9 for Prince Albert, -3 for Saskatoon, -5 in Regina, and -3 expected for Weyburn and Estevan. Looking like we are going to be getting warmer for the next couple days, -2 tomorrow in Regina and 3 degrees on Wednesday. We do see some increased cloud cover moving in on Thursday and some more flurries starting for Friday, continuing on into Saturday for Regina. In Saskatoon, -5 tomorrow, 0 degrees by Wednesday. Again, talking about increased cloud cover by Thursday and a few flakes on the way for Friday, but expecting those to clear up by Saturday. All right, it's time now for a look at our rural forecast. We are seeing a few more flakes in the areas around Lloydminster today. Spiritwood and Meadow Lake could be seeing up to about 5 centimeters of snow. -2 in Lloydminster with that snow, -6 in Spiritwood, -3 in Watrous, and -8 in Wynyard with the mix of sun and cloud. A little bit more of that warmth down towards the south. 2 degrees for Maple Creek and Leader, 0 degrees in Assiniboia, 0 degrees for Coronach, and -6 expected for Carlisle. Let's take a look at Ituna, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel, -9 this afternoon. Not expecting any of those flurries during the day, but we could be seeing Ituna impacted by those flurries overnight, and winds remaining fairly low today, only coming in up to 20 kilometers per hour.
We are continuing to celebrate the CTV Saskatoon Citizen of the Year. We met the nominator. Now let's join Jeff Rogstad with the Person of the Hour.
Well, we are very happy to have the opportunity to speak to the 2025 CTV Saskatoon Citizen of the Year, Mildred Kerr. So lovely to see you this morning.
Thank you, Jeff. And to you.
Well, thank you so much.
Remember, you as a young actor, too.
Time has caught up to me. But in that time that I have known you, you have been an amazing advocate. And obviously, you were doing this for many years before I made your acquaintance. Do you remember, was there anything in particular that sort of made you the way you were? Was there a particular event or something that happened that said, I want to do this, I want to help people?
When I was first graduated from St. Thomas More College, I got a job with the Department of Welfare because there was a shortage of social workers in the province. And my first, we had to go to people's homes, and what really struck me was how much shame people felt who were already over 65, but they had to apply for welfare because pension didn't start till 70. They shouldn't have to feel shame. They'd contributed their whole life, but they know the public attitude is often somebody's getting a free ride on my taxes. So that's always been something I felt I had to fight against.
And you've been fighting against it for decades, and you continue to do so. I understand that initially when you heard this nomination was in the process, you wanted it to be stopped.
Well, yes, because as I said, I don't feel heroic. The ones who are those who have to live on nothing, maybe get 3 days food from the food bank only twice a month when they need it every day.
Well, Millie, we are so proud of you, and thank you for taking a little bit of time this morning. I know there's a lot of people you want to visit with, but thank you so much, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Jeff. It means a lot coming from you, too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Next hour, we will hear from the big boss on the award.
Hello, everyone. Laura Dykin here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, let's head to Buffalo for some rough stuff. For a lot of rough stuff. Opening period between the Lightning and Sabres, and a bit of a back and forth between the opposing players here, and that brings a crowd. Brandon Hagel right in the middle of it. The Team Canada Olympian dropping the gloves with Peyton Krebs, a spirited tilt. And this game was bananas. A total of 102 penalty minutes dished out between the two teams. In the second period, they kept it going. Hagel wants to fight Rasmus Dahlin, unloading on the Swede. Numerous punches thrown, leading to another wild scene. My best advice, head to tsn.ca to check out the full highlights of this one. They did play a hockey game. It was an 8-7 final. It's just a taste of all the chaos of old school hockey in Buffalo on Sunday. Well, tonight on TSN, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder will host the Denver Nuggets. Tip-off for that one coming at 6:30 Central Time. That does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
Barbie is celebrating International Women's Day with a brand new collection. If you haven't heard, Mattel has released its first ever Barbie Dream Team Global Female Role Models. Check this out. The lineup honors female pioneers from across the globe, including tennis legend Serena Williams, an astronaut. Other dolls include a race car driver from Mexico, a soccer player named Chloe Kelly from the UK. There you go. We're inspiring people by giving them role models in doll form.
I absolutely love this.
Yeah. Nice.
I was a Barbie kid when I was younger, and I love seeing the role models.
All right, so that brings us to our question of the day, which is tell us about a woman who inspires you. What do we got on the text line?
Yeah, a few great answers so far, but we'd love to hear some more. So you can text us at 10400. We have Eric who wrote in saying, my wife Annette inspires me. She works hard, she cooks, she cleans, she takes care of the kids while I'm gone for 2 weeks. I'm the luckiest man alive. And I think that's what every wife wants to hear from her husband, is that they are the luckiest man alive. Another answer coming in saying, my little grandma Corbo. She lived her life with wisdom and was extremely kind, loved by all of her family. Sally Matt. Another answer coming in from Howard. He said, my mother, my daughter, and my sisters-in-law. And we also had my daughter, Lauren, NICU registered nurse, graduated 11 months ago. Very proud of her, as you should be. Thank you.
Thanks to all our hardworking healthcare professionals.
Yes. But we want to hear some more answers. Tell us about a woman who inspires you. Text us at 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan that QR code on your screen. We're going to share some more inspiring women in about 1 hour.
Global oil prices smashed through the $100 U.S. mark in overnight trading as the U.S. vowed to continue its war on Iran, stoking deeper concerns about the fate of crude shipments through the world's most important transport route, the Strait of Hormuz, which handles about a fifth of the world's energy traffic each day. It's been at a virtual standstill since the conflict began on February 28th, with tankers unable to pass through safely and storage facilities brimming with unsold product. Now, that has added massive upward pressure on global crude prices, with Brent futures contracts, the global benchmark, rising to as high as $119.50 a barrel in overnight trading. That's a near 80% increase over the past 12 days and the highest in nearly 4 years. Now, G7 finance ministers are set to discuss a possible joint release of oil reserves on Monday. According to people familiar with the matter, this is that Middle East war chokes flow from the region. France, which currently holds the G7 presidency, initiated plans for the call, saying the people who asked not to be identified discussing private deliberations. The French government saying in a statement that the use of strategic reserves is being considered. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
It is time for our Monday morning mystery. I've drawn a sunshine on mine just to bring a little extra joy to it today. It is a thing. Let's get to clue number one. We've got three total. The oldest known one dates back more than 5,000 years. Was worn by Otzi the Iceman. Okay.
Oh, who doesn't know that?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Never heard of this person.
Originating as a unisex function pouch for carrying coins and tools. And clue number three, they became predominantly feminine accessories by the 19th century.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, well, I want to rate. I'm going to go with this. Reveal, 1, 2, 3, boards up. First, I was going to write satchel. What is it? It is
It's European.
It's a European man bag.
Look at us go.
That was today's morning mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, -13, and in Saskatoon, just a little bit cooler, -16 this morning to start the day. By lunchtime in Regina, -8 with a mix of sun and cloud, winds remaining low this afternoon. And by lunch in Saskatoon, -9, also seeing just a little bit of that sunshine poking through those clouds. By final bell in Regina, -5, that is the expected daytime high. But in Saskatoon, -4 by final bell, that is just below where we're expecting to peak this afternoon at -3. We're not going to hit that, though, until about 5 to 6 p.m. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices, and take a good look at these before heading to the pumps today, folks. -49.9 is the common price in Regina. The lowest you might find is 127.9. In Saskatoon, the common price 150.9. The lowest you might find 141.9. In the farm markets this morning, we find the street price of canola at 669.83 per ton, and the futures price at 619.90 per ton. Amber Durum wheat now at 278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat at 274.38 per ton. And the Canadian dollar trading up. It's now at 73.46 cents US. When we come back, the Huskies back on top of the basketball world. Stay with us for the details.
Welcome back to CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan. Let's get to your headlines. A date has now been set for 3 federal by-elections for empty seats in Ontario and Quebec. 2 of them Liberal strongholds, the third one a toss-up. Camille Caramali on what it means for the Liberal government, just shy of a majority.
Here in this Toronto neighborhood of Yorkville, it's not just the weather that's heating up, so is the political landscape, with a federal by-election being announced.
There's been so much discussion on what's going to happen.
Prime Minister Mark Carney announcing 3 by-elections today, 2 in Toronto and other in Quebec. The riding of University Rosedale left vacant when former Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland decided to become a volunteer advisor to Ukraine's president. Former Liberal MP for Scarborough Southwest, Bill Blair, now appointed Canada's High Commissioner to the UK, leaving his seat empty. And for Terrebonne, Liberal Tatiana Auguste defeated Bloc Québécois candidate Nathalie Sinclair de Gagné by just 1 vote last year, but that was overturned by the Supreme Court last month. The 2 will once again go head-to-head.
And there's a lot on the line. The Liberals right now have 169 seats in the House of Commons. Winning all 3 by-elections would be enough to give them a thin majority government.
I think that the 2 Toronto ridings are a lock for the Liberals. They've managed to do something quite impressive. They poached the deputy leader of the Ontario NDP.
The shocking defection of a former Ontario NDP deputy leader to the Liberals, and the selection of a longtime family physician expected to bolster Carney's stronghold in the Toronto ridings, with no Conservative candidates announced yet. But it's the wild card, Terrebonne, that could go either way.
Governments typically only call by-elections when they expect they can win them. And so I have a sneaky suspicion that the Liberals are feeling optimistic about their prospects in Terrebonne.
And so it looks like Carney, knock on wood, for him, has a real chance to secure that majority, albeit literally by 1 seat.
With the chocolate lovers?
Yes. Back in Yorkville, though, residents ready for change.
Chrystia didn't do a lot for this riding, so hopefully somebody better will come in.
And wondering who will taste sweet victory. Camille Caramali, CTV News, Toronto.
And the voting for the next leader of the federal NDP begins today. There are 5 candidates running to replace Jagmeet Singh. They are Rob Ashton, Tenniel Johnston, Avi Lewis, Heather McPherson, and Tony McQuail. The race ends at the Leadership Convention on March 29th. This year's flu season is winding down, but its impact has been severe.
We had a constant stream of really significantly and sometimes critically ill and deathly ill people coming in with influenza.
There have been more than 102,000 flu cases across Canada since late August, and Alberta has seen its deadliest in recent years. Health experts say it can be blamed on a mismatch between the virus and vaccine, as well as low vaccination rates. An extensive project is underway at the Canadian Fossil Discovery Center in Manitoba. A team is working to reconstruct a marine reptile that lived millions of years ago. Alex Carper reports.
This is what we are doing, scanning in 3D all the bones.
At the Canadian Fossil Discovery Center, Adolfo Quatara and his team have undertaken a process unlike any other.
The scan is being made in two parts.
They are reconstructing and assembling a 30-foot Styxosaurus species, a long-necked marine reptile that lived during the Cretaceous period roughly 80 million years ago.
So the plan is to 3D scan all these remains, all the fossils, all the bones, the vertebrae, the flippers, the skull.
This is how the process works. Each fossil fragment is carefully scanned into a computer, digitally reconstructed, and then brought back to life using 5 3D printers. The pieces are assembled into a full skeleton for display.
We were able to reconstruct this way the first skeleton in barely 5 months.
The center houses a collection of around 20,000 fossils. It is the only institution in North America that does the entire process in-house, from discovering and excavating these fossils to recreating them and putting them as a model on display.
All these bones in the neck here, those were all originals.
Jerry Peters is the resident fossil hunter at the center, which houses the largest collection of marine reptile fossils in the country. He says reconstructing ancient creatures once took years, but new technology is dramatically speeding up the process.
But it's really cool to see these old dusty bones that I'm finding in the ground take shape into, what we're seeing here.
Quatara says his team is already starting to work on another model.
This is going to be a never-ending project because we have thousands of incredible fossil specimens and collections.
Work that he says is beneficial in understanding what life was like millions of years ago. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Morden, Manitoba.
A Regina basketball official took the final step in his bid to qualify for a Guinness World Record for oldest active basketball official over the weekend. Jacob Carr reports.
Unbeknownst to Martirana, his son Aaron, who is also a referee, surprised him by stepping in to officiate alongside his father.
That was really emotional because, like I said, you don't know what's going to happen in a year, and we've played together. I coached him when he was playing ball in high school, and it's been a long journey for both of us, and this was really, really special.
With the significance of this game for his father, Aaron told CTV News it had been planned for a while to officiate the contest together. The fact that he was able to keep it a surprise and see Michael's reaction was just icing on the cake.
We kind of had it planned for about a month now that I was going to do this last game with him, and just to make it that much more special, there were several members of the RCBA board that were here. My mom's here, my sisters are here. Yeah, it was a really good thing. I found it really special.
While Michael has been officiating basketball games in the Queen City for 30 years now, he has just 1 year of seniority in that field on Aaron. Michael says before he became an official, he loathed them. So naturally, Aaron followed suit.
That year he reffed, we butted heads the whole year because I couldn't believe he was actually reffing. I still considered them the dark side, but he, over the course of the year, convinced me to do it. I started the following year, and I've been doing it ever since, and I love it.
The father-son duo officiated a Regina Community Basketball Association playoff game on Saturday, and with 59 years of combined experience, the contest was in good hands.
It's going to be over-officiated at this level kind of thing because, he refs at the highest level here. I haven't refed at that high level for a long time, but I do elementary school all during the week. And so sometimes it gets really competitive, and I like it because they're small gyms. I don't have to run as much.
If you ask this reporter, even at the age of 80, Martirana can still get up and down the court just fine. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
The University of Saskatchewan Huskies women's basketball team, national champions once again.
Murphy wave. The Bronze Baby will be extending its stay at the pack.
Very exuberant play-by-play call there. The Huskies hoisted the Bronze Baby trophy for the second straight year, beating the University of New Brunswick 77-68. This was the Huskies' 4th title all time. Matt Dunstone has won the first of his Montana Briars.
Matt Dunstone from the Granite in Winnipeg. Harnden, as the crowd starts to respond, make it go away, and there they go, and he is the Heartbreak Kid no more. Matt Dunstone wins the Montana's Briar.
keeps curling like that, it'll be the first of many. Dunstone and Team Manitoba get it done, knocking off the undefeated Alberta rink after losing 2 of the last 3 Brier finals. Dunstone claims his first, and he will represent Canada at Worlds coming up in Utah. 6-3, the final. A new roller coaster coming to Universal Studios Hollywood is ready to shift things into high gear. The park has unveiled Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. The coaster will reach speeds of 115 kilometers an hour on an aerial track stretching, woo, look at that car switch, about 12 football fields. Riders will race through the park in cars inspired by the franchise, including Dominic's iconic Dodge Charger. The new ride is set to open this summer. Time to start planning a trip. Maybe not in the summer. Maybe you want to do it like last month when it was brutal cold here.
Yeah, well, we're still seeing winter temperatures, but hey, I want to go on that. I'm a roller coaster girl. I would do that. Would you do it?
Let's do it.
Would you?
Yeah.
All right.
They send us free tickets, I'll definitely go.
Absolutely, yeah. As long as it's free, we'll go to anything.
That's right.
Okay, let's turn our attention to this morning view. It's brought to you by Affinity Wealth Management. We know investing. It's -13 to wake us up in Regina right now. We do have quite a bit of cloud cover, as you can see on this sky cam here. We do have some north winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour as well. And in Saskatoon, -16. Not quite as much cloud cover, but we are going to be seeing that increasing into your afternoon hours. What we're not going to be seeing, thankfully, is those winds increasing quite as much as what we saw over the weekend. We are seeing temperatures go down, though, so we'll take the good with the bad. Winds are only really going to be increasing today in the areas around Kindersley. We'll be seeing them up to about 40 kilometers per hour. Let's take a quick look at this radar and satellite, though, because as we know, we did see some precipitation down south over the weekend, especially yesterday evening. We saw that in Regina. It was a little bit of snow, a little bit of rain, so the commute could be a little bit tricky this morning, just some partially covered roads. The last little bit of that we did see in areas just south of Swift Current overnight and into early this morning. Futurecast showing Current right now. We're not seeing a lot of precipitation, but we are seeing again quite a bit of cloud cover. Into the later parts of the morning and early afternoon, we do see this system moving in from Alberta, bringing some snow to areas around the Battlefords, Lloydminster, Meadow Lake. You're going to be seeing some of those flakes today. Areas down near Swift Current as well. Also going to be seeing just a little bit of that snow today. But the most of that snow is going to be falling in areas around the Battlefords, where we could be seeing up to about 5 centimeters of snow by the end of the day. Today's forecast with those flurries in the Battlefords, -2, -9 in Prince Albert, -3 in Saskatoon, right around that seasonal average there. -5 in Regina, that is below the seasonal average. -1 in Moose Jaw this afternoon, 1 degree for Swift Current with that cloud cover, and -3 for Weyburn and Estevan. We talked about how normal this is. Let's actually show you those figures. The average in Regina is -2.0. Again, the high today in Regina -5, so we are below that. The average in Saskatoon is -3.1, so we're just about at that -3. Last year in Regina, that was 3.3 degrees, and last year in Saskatoon, it was 1.1. The record for this day, March 9th, for Regina back in the year 1973, that was 11.7 degrees, and the record in Saskatoon for March 9th, that was set in 1905, and that was 10.6 degrees. We are going to be seeing a bit of a warm up in the next coming days, but we're not going to be reaching those records. When you're selling your home, there are so many things to think about, and one of those aspects is how your home is being marketed to others. That's what we're talking about today with real estate expert Sarah McKinley. Good morning and welcome back to the studio.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited to have you back. So jumping on in, how does having professional photos and videos help market that listing more effectively?
It involves showcasing your home in its best light. So you don't really want anyone to take photos of your largest asset with their cell phone, or maybe someone that doesn't have the proper education. I was talking with a seller the other day, and she said she really appreciated how the photographer showcased her home very bright, very airy, and exactly how she feels when she wants to walk through it. She essentially said she wanted to buy her home back again. That's a really nice compliment.
That's the best compliment that you could hear.
So with those photos, we're able to actually share them across social media platforms. And because they're professionally done and the video is professionally done, we get more views, even from the younger audiences, because they critique more. Because of TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everyone loves a really curated social media post.
So we know it's important. There's a few things that sellers should know, though, when it comes to preparing their space for those professional photos and videos.
That's right. Because the process is so stressful and there's a lot of emotions we're unlocking as we go through each room, I really recommend being on site for 3 to 4 visits. We do a walkthrough, we go through each room, we decide what needs to be decluttered, organized, given to perhaps another organization in the community, and really focus on maximizing space, the brightness of the room, and how it will feel to a buyer when they walk through it.
So in addition to the professional photos and videos, what other marketing tools should we be thinking about and utilizing?
Well, I love working with Hatch Media. They're a locally owned company, and they offer a variety of additionals. So we can do drone footage of the community, of the backyard. We can help edit out things that you may not want to have shown online to everyone in North America. We can do virtual staging for vacant homes. So we have a variety of options, including telling that story that your home has to tell. So it's an awesome process to go through with professional photography and video.
All right, some great advice. Sarah, if people are looking to sell their home, how can they get in contact with you?
They can always give me a jingle or send me a DM.
All right, Sarah McKinley, our real estate expert on how to make your home more marketable if you're looking to sell.
Here's what's happening in our community. An arm wrestling tournament happening March 14th at the Doug Third Hall out in Estevan. Call 306-201-6431. Take home Irish stew supper happening with a pre-order on March 14th. Pick up on the 15th at Lakeview United Church, 3200 McCallum Avenue. St. Patrick's Coffee Party, March 14th at 9:30 a.m. over at the Westminster United Church. Call 306-533-0601. The Saskatchewan Rough Rider Pep Band Open House and Rehearsal happens March 15th at 1:30 p.m. over at Fly Fitness Regina. That's 1438 Lindsay Street. Email skriderpepband@gmail.com. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click on Community Calendar.
It's March 9th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated wish from over the weekend. Happy birthday to Lynn, who marked another trip around the sun on Saturday. We hope it was a great day. Lots of love from your husband, Bruce. A big happy birthday going out to Caden today, who is officially now a teenager. Happy 13th birthday. This shout out coming from your mom, Devin, Noah, and the cats. Turning 65 today is Candy. Happy birthday to you, with a ton of love coming your way from your husband, kids, grandkids, and great-grandbaby. Also celebrating today is Charla. Happy birthday. Lots of love from Joanne and Mervyn. Have a great day.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Let's head back out on location now to the RCMP Heritage Center, where Janelle Lippi is putting her investigative skills to the test.
Good morning. We are wrapping things up down at the RCMP Heritage Center, and Sam is back with me. Now, Sam, we've been talking all morning about Foul Play coming up March 12th. You can still get those tickets online, by the way. Now, I am super curious. Tell me a little bit about what you are most looking forward to.
Well, I think I am most looking forward to emceeing again. I had the distinct honor of doing that last year. It ended up being so fun. Lots of interaction with the tables, and I have a few ideas up my sleeve for this year.
Ooh, all right. So if you want to come meet Sam, hang out and have a good time, again, those tickets are on the website. You can head there March 12th. Now let's talk about a couple other things happening here at the RCMP Heritage Center. What can folks look forward to?
Yeah, so we always have something going on at the Heritage Center. Your best bet is to check our socials because we're always promoting what's going on. Right now we have March Mayhem. So for families and for parents, these are free activities, crafts, free movie, that sort of thing that you can just either add on to your visit or just come for that.
Awesome. All right, so that is coming up, and what's in May?
Well, in May, we have our Red Dress program. So if there are any teachers watching, this is a really impactful, really awesome week of programming that we work with Indigenous partners and the Place of Reflection, who's a partner of ours, to deliver programming about missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. It's a very important program, especially for young people.
Absolutely, it is. All right, Sam, well, thank you so much for having us this morning. It was lovely to spend some time with you. And once again, Foul Play, you can be a part of it. Look at all this fun. That is March 12th, begins at 6 and ends at 10 p.m.
All right, Janelle, thank you very much. Coming up tomorrow morning on CTV Your Morning, we will meet the CTV Regina Citizen of the Year.
How much fan mail did you get for your two wives coming in and doing the show yesterday?
They had a lot of texts coming in, some good feedback on Facebook and stuff like that, too. So, no, it was great to see. It was International Women's Day, and Brandon and myself handed over the microphones to our wives, mine, Megan, his, Brittany. And, yeah, the two of them rocked it from 6 until 9 yesterday morning. So I'm going to chop that show up throughout the day here, too, and throw it online, too. So if you weren't up nice and early yesterday, you can still relive that. Also, speaking of nice and early, it's Monday morning. What do we all want? More sleep. A better sleep. Well, we have a great prize from Sleep Country, and we're going to play Snooze It or Lose It coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour, where it is a series of trivia questions, and if you have the most correct by the end of the week, well, you're going to win the prize package. But you only go until you get one wrong, and then you are out. If they're too tough, you can snooze one.
Kayleen astutely pointed out, it made it sound like you have two wives. You do not have two wives. Your wife, Brandon Hall's wife. Clarification. Yes. It's important.
There we go. Yes, very important on that one.
This world is intricately stitched together, boys. Every thread we pull, we know not how it affects the design of things.
The Academy Awards have gotten more international in recent years. One of Train Dream's 4 nominations is for its Brazilian cinematographer, Adolfo Veloso. Meanwhile, Brazil's The Secret Agent also has 4 nominations, including Best Picture and Best International Feature, an award won last year by another Brazilian film, I'm Still Here.
In this moment we're living, I feel like it's amazing to represent not only Brazil, but Latin America, to represent all the immigrants in a very delicate moment. And I feel like this only shows how people all over the world are amazing, and we should be hearing everybody, and we should be paying attention to all those voices.
Of course, it was our friendship. Hello had the key that made Flea and Anthony sound the best they could be.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers' first guitarist, Hillel Slovak, gets his due in The Rise of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Our Brother Hillel. The documentary looks at how a childhood friend helped shape the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer's sound. The film debuts March 20th on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Let's start our sidebar with a taste test that's gone viral.
I offered my alpacas blackberries.
All right, we don't know if it's blackberries or blueberries, depending on...
Conflicting reports.
Yeah, conflicting. But all we know is that some of the alpacas loved it. They do a little chamois. Next up, Cheddar came up. That's the name, and couldn't stop smacking his lips from the deliciousness.
Look at that.
This video, get this, has over 35 million views.
Wow.
All animal videos, they all do really well online.
Yeah, if you want to go viral, just find a cute animal video and post it.
That's right. Let's stick with the animal theme and go bobbing for something. Cucumbers is the something. There's the slurp.
Okay.
Lap it up in that stupid hat. We're back after this. It's Monday, March 9th.
Governments typically only call by-elections when they expect they can win them.
Voters in 2 ridings in Ontario, 1 in Quebec, heading to the polls on April 13th with a possible majority government on the line. Plenty of cleanup still ahead after strong winds blew through from BC to Saskatchewan.
Fawcett trying to reach it, worked it ahead. Here comes Maddox Schultz in over shooting. He scores!
And the Pats push the Hitmen to overtime. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Monday.
I hope if you're watching from BC, I know a lot of you are. There's a lot of people moved from Saskatchewan to BC, and you're watching now. You've enjoyed your final time change.
People just watch from BC. They just they go there.
We get emails and texts from them all the time.
Can't get enough of Daryl Rummels.
No, just kind of wanted to know what's going on at home. It didn't have anything to do with me, I'll tell you that. But you got to think at some point Alberta is going to follow suit, right? You can't.
I would hope
either
so. I mean, we're both Alberta babies, so I mean, as somebody that was born and raised in Alberta, I wasn't born. I was born in BC. Why did I say that?
Look at you.
I moved to Alberta when I was 3, but I think that they should get rid of it.
Look at this. We're learning so much about each other and ourselves today. Let's get over to news. We begin with this. The son of the Ayatollah killed at the start of the war will now run Iran, even after the U.S. president dismissed him as an unacceptable replacement for his father. Marcus Moore with the latest from Qatar.
This morning, 9 days after the killing of Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei, his son has been named Iran's new supreme leader. Mojtaba Khamenei is expected to maintain the hardline regime his father created. President Trump has called the 56-year-old, quote, an unacceptable choice to lead Iran, overnight saying simply, quote, we'll see what happens.
They don't intend to bow to the United States pressure to change the regime.
Hours before the Ayatollah's successor was announced, President Trump insisted he needed to approve the next Iranian leader, or, quote, he's not going to last long. Trump is now considering sending U.S. special forces into Iran to seize the country's nuclear stockpile.
We wouldn't do it now. Maybe we'd do it later.
U.S. Central Command now confirms a 7th American service member has died in this conflict after being wounded during an Iranian attack on a base in Saudi Arabia last week. Iran continues to pound its Persian Gulf neighbors. This government building in Kuwait on fire after being hit by an Iranian drone. In Bahrain, dozens injured in attacks and a desalination plant was hit. Desalination plants are essential for providing water to much of the Middle East. Meanwhile, Israel is targeting energy infrastructure inside Iran. This attack on an oil depot in Tehran sent poisonous fumes into the air for miles. It comes as Russia is reportedly providing Iran with intelligence to target U.S. forces, including the locations of troops, aircraft, and ships. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth downplaying the threat. President Trump, in the meantime, has demanded Iran's unconditional surrender, leading many to question what surrender would look like. Secretary Hegseth saying this.
Now, whether they will have a ceremony in Tehran Square and surrender, that's up to them. Whether they know it or not, they will be combat ineffective. They will surrender.
Overnight here in Doha, emergency alerts went out to cell phones again, and soon after we heard the now familiar sound of booms over the city. Qatar saying they intercepted another missile attack from Iran, and right now renewing their call for an end to this war. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Doha.
Ottawa has so far only been able to help a fraction of the people stranded in the conflict zone. Here's Judy Trin.
Iranian missiles are being intercepted across Qatar. With airspace closed, Canadian Amy Nikhil and her family were hoping to get on buses organized by Global Affairs, destined for Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
We have a particular unique case in our family where myself and my children are Canadian citizens. My husband is not.
Her husband, Ayad, is Palestinian and faces challenges in getting a visa to cross into Saudi Arabia. For days, Nikhil has been calling and emailing the Canadian government for help. Then Nikhil got this response, asking if she was willing to leave without him.
This is stressful. As a family, we obviously need to stay together. And the option of, being told that we're going to take you and your kids is just unimaginable.
About 110,000 Canadians are registered with Global Affairs in the Middle East. More than 5,200 have now asked for help in leaving. The government has organized flights for more than 300 citizens and buses for 180 people. Ahmad Araji is currently in Lebanon doing humanitarian work, but his parents want him back in Ottawa.
They message me more than 60 times a day. They're extremely, extremely scared.
Araji is working with restaurants to deliver food and water to displaced people in Beirut. Israel is bombing South Lebanon to target Iranian commanders it believes are hiding in the city. Araji doesn't want to leave those in need without his help.
Scary and sad at the same time, seeing all these families flee their homes.
The number of people trying to escape the war zone grows by the day. So far, the federal government has only been able to help about 10% of the Canadians desperate to leave.
France is hosting a virtual meeting of G7 finance ministers this morning on the Middle East war as fears rise over global economics. The French finance ministry says the meeting will review the situation in the Gulf from an economic standpoint and events of recent days. The war on Iran triggered a spike in crude oil and natural gas prices and a sharp fall in stock markets, with Europe and Asia being the hardest hit. The talks will focus on Iran's blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, a key route for maritime trade. Traffic note for people on their way to work or school in Saskatoon this morning, Jeremy Dodge.
Yeah, we've got a traffic situation on the University Bridge, Daryl. Westbound lanes closed this morning following a small fire under the archway at the Spadina Crescent end. So two-way traffic operating in the eastbound lanes. Drivers asked to avoid the area if possible or get caught in some major delays. Saskatoon Transit will be impacted as well, so check your transit apps for details if you're riding the bus. City crews did work through the night to try and repair damage to a sewer line, and the work is ongoing. But for now, avoid the University Bridge if you are in a hurry this morning. Annual Warman Cheer Classic returned to the Warman Home Center Communiplex over the weekend. Over 210 cheer, dance, and pom teams from across Canada showcasing their skills. The event is Saskatchewan's largest cheerleading and dance competition and largest world's bid event, with an estimated 32,000 athletes competing.
I think it's great to see all the different styles, who's doing what. They watch each other on Instagram and, TikTok and all the things. So like watching them and getting to meet each other and just, cheering each other on.
This year marked the 19th time the event was hosted in Warman. And Saskatoon Youth Soccer's Mini Cisco Festival returning over the weekend. 126 local teams with over 1,200 young athletes taking part in the soccer tournament. Annual event's an opportunity for soccer players under 9 years old to see what a tournament is like. Intended to get kids involved in soccer, all who participated received a gold medal. And the young athletes who spoke with CTV said that was their favorite part.
It just felt like my heart was very warm. The best, and I give it 2 thumbs up because I think we tied the team.
Oh man, a total of 189 games played over the weekend. Daryl, some big money raised in Regina over the weekend.
Hospitals Regina Foundation, thanks to an evening in Greece. The 32nd annual Gala event held Saturday night at the Delta Hotel. Greek cuisine, live music, dancing, of course. They also shattered a bunch of plates. What a mess to clean up. All for a good cause, though. Proceeds going to the HRF and Autism Resource Center. Raised more than $3 million. Look at them go over the past 3 decades. People in Calgary are once again being asked to conserve water as work starts on the next phase of repairs.
We will pour a lot of concrete on the pipe, and then it'll take about 7 days to cure. And then following that is backfill and putting the pipe back into service.
It's part of a 4-week job to repair several vulnerable sections of the South Bearspaw feeder main. Calgarians being asked to keep showers to 3 minutes or less, limit toilet flushes, and run only full loads of laundry or dishes. The repair is part of a larger project, including a $439 million cost to replace the feeder main by the end of the year. This year's flu season is winding down, but its impact has been severe.
We had a constant stream of really significantly and sometimes critically ill and deathly ill people coming in with influenza.
There have been 102,000 plus cases across Canada since late August. Alberta had the deadliest season. Health experts say it can be blamed on a mismatch between the vaccine and the virus, as well as low vaccination rates and the strain itself. Alcohol sales are down across Canada, with the biggest drop in sales in 20 years. Sales of alcoholic beverages fell 1.6% to $25.8 billion in the 2024-25 fiscal year, which is the biggest drop in 20 years that Stats Canada has tracked that data. Beer, wine and spirit sales all down. It comes after a number of studies show younger people drinking less. Prince Albert Raiders back on top of the WHL East.
From Boychuk, stayed out off the post. Now walking in is Rudolph, he'll score.
All right, so Justice Christensen dancing through a maze of players, even that broken stick to score the 16th of the season for him. Raiders pick up a 4-3 win in Edmonton. They've now won 7. Look at him dance right through. Nice shot. They've won 7 of their last 10.
Fawcett trying to reach it, worked it ahead. Here comes Maddox Schultz in over shooting. He scores!
Maddox Schultz barred down. 3-3. It was tied at that point, but Julian May scored his 35th of the year in overtime to lift the Calgary Hitmen to a 4-3 win. Let's get to the Weather Center. Join Kayleen Sawatsky. Winds have died down, but they caused a mess over the weekend.
Yeah, they sure did. We were seeing really strong wind gusts on Sunday in particular. Now, we're not really seeing those today other than in Kindersley, right around that area of the western Saskatchewan border there. We're taking a look at those gusts up to about 40-45 kilometers per hour this afternoon. Other than that, not really seeing as much of those gusts in many other places in the province today. So not so bad. -13 right now to wake us up in Regina. Winds are very calm to start the day, only coming in at 4 kilometers per hour right now. We are seeing quite a bit of cloud cover in Regina, not quite so much up in Saskatoon right now. -16, just a few clouds and winds coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. Let's take a look at some current temperatures all across the province. Still seeing very cold temps up north. Stony Rapids at -37. Believe it or not our cold spot this hour. That is Key Lake, right around -39. -28 in La Ronge, -33 in South End, -19 in Nipawin, and -20 in Melfort. Down towards the south, we're seeing much warmer temperatures in the southwest as usual. -5 in East End, -8 in Swift Current, and -10 to wake us up in Weyburn, -17 in Yorkton. Later on this afternoon, seeing temperatures pretty close to the seasonal average. -2 with some flakes for the Battlefords, -9 in Prince Albert, also seeing some snow today. Swift Current 0 degrees. You just see the cloud cover icon there. However, areas even farther south than Swift Current could be seeing a few flakes as well. -3 in Weyburn. Estevan -3. Could be seeing again some flurries mainly later on into those overnight hours. How much snow can you expect? Well, the Battlefords expecting about 5 centimeters by the end of the day. Prince Albert about 1 centimeter. Not looking at any significant totals in any other areas in the province today. Now let's take a look at those temperatures once again. So as we mentioned, -5 this afternoon for Regina and -3 for Saskatoon. The average this time of year in Regina is -2.0 and the average for Saskatoon is -3.1. So we're right around that today in Saskatoon. Last year in Regina it was 3.3 degrees and last year in Saskatoon on this day 1.1. Not looking like we're going to be beating any of those records coming up, although we are seeing a warm up for the next couple days. -2 in Regina tomorrow, 3 degrees on Wednesday, and some more clouds moving in for Thursday, some more flakes for Friday. In Saskatoon, -5 tomorrow, 0 degrees on Wednesday, -6 on Thursday. Again, seeing that cloud cover moving in, and some flurries on the way for Friday, dropping down to -8.
March 9th, 1901. This day in history, Japanese Canadians gained the right to vote in BC after a court challenge. The decision was overturned the next year. March 9th, 1977, Terry Fox learned he had a cancerous tumor in his right leg. Surgeons amputated his leg right above the knee. March 9th, 2020, Italy locked down its entire population as it reported more than 9,000 cases of COVID-19.
In case you missed it, a group representing Quebec's dairy industry says it is looking at a special designation for cheese curds. It's kind of the thing that goes on with Bordeaux wine or champagne, especially a protected geographical indication, which could see curds being called something like Quebec poutine cheese. What do you think?
I think this is great because some cheese that you get at some places that are calling their poutine,
yep.
Some of the cheese curds just taste like plastic.
It's not quite the same.
Yeah, you gotta have good curds.
My French-Canadian wife would be all about this, for sure.
I think this is a great idea.
Well, brings us to our question of the day. All right, Keely, what are we talking about today?
Well, it was International Women's Day, and we're ready to carry that energy into our Monday. So we're asking you to tell us about a woman who inspires you. A few more great answers on our board today. One answer saying, the woman that inspires me is my mother, Dorothy. She's one of the strongest women I know. She takes such good care of our family, especially my dad, as he faces the hardest battle of his life. Love you, Mom. And that came in from Heather on X. Thank you for writing that in, Heather. Good morning from Lori. My mother inspired me. She had us 4 girls, raised us, just was an amazing mom, wife, and woman. I know that could not have been easy. I only have 1 daughter, but having 4, woo.
Well, my grandma had 7.
Wow. Amazing. Women raising amazing women. I love it. Daphne from Regina saying, my mom, Linda, my sisters-in-law, Lindsay and Nicole, my best friend, Trisha, and all of my aunts are very good role models, and I'm so happy to have them in my life. I also work with some pretty amazing women who are quite awesome to be around. Thank you for writing that in, Daphne. A few more answers to share also from earlier. Eric feels like the luckiest man alive with his wife, Annette. She is inspiring. She works hard. She cooks. She cleans. She takes care of the kids while I'm gone for 2 weeks. We also had another answer saying, my little grandma, Corbo. She lived her life with wisdom, was extremely kind, loved by all of her family.
Where's Eric get to go for 2 weeks? Why isn't he taking his wife with her?
Yeah, probably working.
I hope so.
Yeah. Howard saying, my mother, daughter, and my sisters-in-law. And another answer saying, my daughter, Lauren, Nikki, registered nurse, graduated 11 months ago. Very proud of her.
Thanks to all of our healthcare workers. We're back with your CTV Saskatoon Citizen of the Year, and we're going to talk to the national champion Huskies women's basketball team. Stay with us.
The Bronze Baby will be extending its stay at the Pack. for the 4th time in school history. The Huskies.
Yes, the University of Saskatchewan Huskies are Canadian University Sports National Champions again. Make the final 77-68. The Huskies over the University of New Brunswick to capture their 2nd title in a row. And I am joined now by the star named MVP of the tournament, Ella Murphy-Wiebe. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy.
So, 4th bronze baby in program history, 2 in a row for you. How does this feel?
Feels so surreal. Still can't even believe it has happened, and it's similar to how it felt last year. It didn't sink in until like weeks after I got home, basically. So I'm guessing that this is gonna be also like that, especially since I'm now done basketball with the Huskies.
Yeah. Well, you've got 5 years under your belt now. Did the experience help? Because most of this team was there just, a year ago, but New Brunswick hadn't been in the final since 1976. So did you get to use some of that experience?
Yeah, well, I think our composure skills really were important for our semifinal, because that was against Laval, which was the home team, and it was incredibly loud. But I think I speak for everyone when I say we didn't really hear it. We didn't hear anything that they were saying. We all were very focused on each other and how we play.
Now, there was some adversity in this game, up by 12 or so at the half, and then we're watching these highlights with the score on the bottom. You were actually trailing for a minute in the 3rd, went 7 minutes or so without a bucket, but you rallied, you brought it together, and you ended up taking this thing. Logan Ryder named player of the game, 19 points. Maya Flindall, 17 points. You had 13 points and 10 boards to win tournament MVP honors. So this is a whole team coming together, hey?
Yes, that's what is the crazy thing about our team, is that when one person doesn't have a good game, another one always steps up, and that's our bench is so deep, and I know that whoever steps on the floor is going to do their role and do it well.
Now, how many, you're done, right? You're moving on to whatever your next step is. How many are in the same boat as you? Are we going to have a lot of this team left to try for the three-peat, or?
Well, 5 of us are leaving, but that's kind of similar to lots of teams across U Sport, because this is the COVID year. So lots of teams are losing players. So it'll look very different next year. But our team, I know, will still be a very competitive team.
Absolutely. And with Coach Lisa Tomaitis running things, you're going to be in the hunt. Ella Murphy-Wiebe, University of Saskatchewan Huskies, the 2026 U Sports National Champions. Thank you for drawing the short straw and coming on with us after what must have been a celebratory evening. Safe travels back from Quebec, and congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so we've met the nominator. We've met the CTV Saskatoon Citizen of the Year. Now Jeff Rogstad has the unenviable task of interviewing our boss.
Today we have been honoring Mildred Kerr. She is the 2025 CTV Saskatoon Citizen of the Year. Joining me today is JC Garden. He is the news director, among other titles, for CTV Saskatchewan. So first of all, a great morning.
Oh, an amazing morning, Jeff. This is one of the best things that is part of my job, is to recognize a Citizen of the Year, and no better fit than Mildred this morning.
Now, for those who aren't familiar, we've been doing this for 59 years, so we do it, but why do we do it?
It's I think that when you think about the legacy of CTV Saskatoon, but as a lot of people know it from way back when, 59 years CFQC, it was a way that we could recognize the important work of somebody in our community. And we have always viewed ourselves as the community station. When you think of CTV, we want people to know that we're their megaphone for the community. And so to have an award like this and have it go on for 59 years, it's doing that work.
And how did Millie react when you phoned her?
She was extremely humble, I think a little bit in denial, saying there must be some more worthy recipients than me. And of course, as you look at her nomination and what is truly a lifetime of volunteerism and advocacy in the community, of course she was deserving, and we're so happy we're able to recognize that today.
Yeah, certainly that's true. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you to both of you, and tomorrow we will meet the CTV Regina Citizen of the Year on this program. Celtic Woman is coming to the Connexus Arts Center in Regina on April 7th, and we want to send you to the show. Online is where you enter at ctvregina.ca for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the show. Welcome back to Your Morning. My name is Daryl. Here's what's making news. A date has now been set for 3 federal by-elections for empty seats in Ontario and Quebec. 2 of them are Liberal strongholds. The third one is a toss-up. Camille Karamali on what it means for the Liberal government, who are just shy of a majority.
Here in this Toronto neighborhood of Yorkville, it's not just the weather that's heating up, so is the political landscape, with a federal by-election being announced.
There's been so much discussion on what's going to happen.
Prime Minister Mark Carney announcing 3 by-elections today, 2 in Toronto, another in Quebec. The riding of University Rosedale left vacant when former Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland decided to become a volunteer advisor to Ukraine's president. Former Liberal MP for Scarborough Southwest, Bill Blair, now appointed Canada's High Commissioner to the UK, leaving his seat empty. And for Terrebonne, Liberal Tatiana Auguste defeated Bloc Québécois candidate Nathalie Sinclair de Gagné by just 1 vote last year, but that was overturned by the Supreme Court last month. The 2 will once again go head-to-head.
And there's a lot on the line. The Liberals right now have 169 seats in the House of Commons. Winning all 3 by-elections would be enough to give them a thin majority government.
I think that the 2 Toronto ridings are a lock for the Liberals. They've managed to do something quite impressive. They poached the deputy leader of the Ontario NDP.
The shocking defection of a former Ontario NDP deputy leader to the Liberals, and the selection of a longtime family physician expected to bolster Carney's stronghold in the Toronto ridings, with no Conservative candidates announced yet. But it's the wild card, Terrebonne, that could go either way.
Governments typically only call by-elections when they expect they can win them. And so I have a sneaky suspicion that the Liberals are feeling optimistic about their prospects in Terrebonne.
And so it looks like Carney, knock on wood, for him, has a real chance to secure that majority, albeit literally by 1 seat.
With the chocolate lover?
Yes. Back in Yorkville, though, residents ready for change.
Chrystia didn't do a lot for this riding, so hopefully somebody better will come in.
And wondering who will taste sweet victory. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
And voting for the next federal NDP leader starts today. 5 candidates running to replace Jagmeet Singh, Rob Ashton, Tennealle Johnston, Avi Lewis, Heather McPherson, and Tony McQuail. Party members can vote online or by mail. That race ends on March 29th. Meanwhile, the federal Liberals are proposing a debate in the House tonight on Canada's response to the war in the Middle East. Opposition parties have not responded, and there is no word if the Prime Minister will be at the debate if it does happen. Police and political leaders are promising a relentless investigation into a string of shootings at synagogues in the Greater Toronto area.
Over the last 2 years, our Jewish community has been subject to increasing incidents of hate, intimidation, harassment, and violence.
Over the weekend, bullets were fired at 2 synagogues, one in the city of Toronto and another in Thornhill. This was the third time a synagogue was targeted in the span of 5 days. Toronto and York Regional Police are working to determine if the weekend shootings are connected. With spring training underway, this year's Major League Baseball, technology is coming to a whole different level, with the league rolling out a system to help check umpire calls. Stephen Romo reports.
At this MLB spring training game,
The catcher is challenging.
a new system on display meant to improve accuracy for some of the most debated calls in sports.
And it is a strike.
MLB's automated ball strike system, known as ABS, making its regular season debut this year.
Contreras thinks it missed. We get the look. And that's a ball.
Using high-speed cameras installed at every ballpark to track whether each pitch is a ball or a strike. It helps figure out if a human umpire's call is correct. With these so-called robot umpires, pitchers, catchers, and hitters can challenge a ball or strike within 2 seconds of a call. The review typically taking about 10 to 15 seconds.
People get into it. They cheer, they boo, they clap if the umpire got it right.
MLB data shows umpires are increasingly accurate, making correct calls nearly 93% of the time last year. For players with successful challenges,
I felt great. We're still here, we're learning.
Others saying they'll sit this one out.
I will never challenge a pitch. I will never do it.
Why?
Because I'm not an umpire. That's their job.
MLB says it plans to use ABS as a helpful tool, not a replacement for human umpires.
A lot of players like it. A lot of fans like it. What about the umpires themselves?
Yeah, the umpires have been great through this process. You know, they don't have to go home at night and lose sleep over a big call that might have swayed the game one way or the other.
With opening day a few weeks out and spring training underway, this new tech is stepping up to the plate in a new chapter for America's favorite pastime. Stephen Romo, NBC News.
Matt Dunstone won his first Montana's Brier.
Go away, and there they go, and he is the Heartbreak Kid no more. Matt Dunstone wins the Montana's Brier.
Matt Dunstone and Team Manitoba get it done. They beat Alberta. He will represent Canada at the Worlds coming up in Utah. 6-3, the final. Wind speeds were like 100, 110 yesterday in some parts. What is it today?
Thankfully, very, very low compared to the weekend. Other than in areas around Kindersley, we could be seeing those gusts up to about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour this afternoon. Other than that, we are in the clear from those high winds today, thankfully. -12 right now to wake us up in Regina. We have seen just a few flakes in the area. Don't worry too much about that. It's not really going to be impacting your day all too much. Winds, as I mentioned, very calm right now at 6 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, -16, just a few clouds to start the day. Those will be increasing into your afternoon, and winds coming in at 13 kilometers per hour right now. Let's turn our attention to this radar and satellite, because we just mentioned there were just a few flakes in the area around Regina just in the past few minutes or so. That's not going to be continuing on, but mainly what we saw was some precipitation around Regina, Swift Current, and Estevan late last night and through those overnight hours. So roads could be partially covered today. Check that highway hotline if you're doing any of those long distance drives today. Now, this is current, what you're looking at on your screen. We're just starting to see a system coming in to the north from northern Alberta there, as you can see. It's going to start impacting areas around Lloydminster, the Battlefords, around Prince Albert as well into those afternoon hours. Mainly talking about snow through those northern and central zones. However, areas down through Swift Current there also could be seeing just a few of those flakes. Into tomorrow morning, we also see some of those flakes over top of Regina. Yorkton going to be seeing some of those, and Estevan as well. So we're going to be prepared for that. Today's forecast with those temperatures, though, looking not bad, pretty close to the seasonal average temperatures. -2 for the Battlefords, -9 in Prince Albert, -3 this afternoon for Saskatoon, -5 for Regina, and -3 expected for both Weyburn and Estevan. Let's turn our attention now to this 7-day forecast. We are getting a little bit warmer for the next couple days down in the south. -2 tomorrow for Regina, up to 3 degrees on Wednesday. And then we're seeing a lot of cloud cover coming over the province on our radar right now, starting on Thursday, -1. Dropping down to -4 on Friday. We do see some snow popping up on the radar on that day. It continues on into Saturday as we drop down to -8 and -9 on Sunday with that mix of sun and cloud. In Saskatoon, dropping a bit tomorrow, -5, and then up to 0 degrees by Wednesday. Again, we're talking about that cloud cover really blanketing the province starting on Thursday. Not going to be seeing a whole lot of that sunshine, dropping down to -6, -8 on Friday. Again, talking about a few of those flurries, -12 on Saturday, so clearing up though, and -10 on Sunday.
This was the moment 17-year-old Macy Brown had been dreaming of for months. The Fenton, Missouri high school senior back to cheerleading after a combined heart and kidney transplant. But it wasn't Macy's first health challenge.
I've grown up in the medical field my whole life.
24 hours after Macy was born, her parents learned she had hypoplastic left heart syndrome, a severe congenital heart defect appearing in 1 in 4,000 births, where the left side of the heart is underdeveloped.
It is a little surreal at the time. You're just trying to wrap your head around what's really going on.
Macy received her first transplant at 9 weeks old and went on to lead a relatively normal life. But the family was warned her heart may not last forever.
They told us it was about a 50-50 chance of her needing a new heart before she was the age 20.
But last summer at camp, Macy had a cough that wouldn't go away.
I started feeling very shortness, like getting very short of breath over activities that I wouldn't normally be that short of breath for.
Doctors said Macy's transplanted heart was starting to fail, and this time her kidneys too.
When you have heart failure and the heart is not doing a great job pumping blood, other organs tend to get affected.
In October, Macy underwent a rare combined heart and kidney transplant at St. Louis Children's Hospital, the first pediatric surgery of its kind in Missouri. Macy, in the hospital for 54 days, returned home in time for Thanksgiving.
I feel really good. I'm back to normal school, and I just cheered for the first time last week since everything happened.
Macy and her family thankful for the gift of life given to her twice by the generosity of 2 donor families.
I'm very, very grateful and very thankful to the donor family for giving me my organs.
Thank you is not even a big enough word. It's something that I think about every day. We owe them everything.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
We're very happy to welcome back to our studio Adele Harrison from Affinity Credit Union. She is a mobile mortgage specialist. And today we're talking about construction mortgages. And I always thought a mortgage is a mortgage, but there's obviously a different thing. So what is the difference between, let's say, construction and maybe an RTM mortgage?
Yeah. So the major difference is where the home's being built. With a traditional construction mortgage, the home's being built right on the land that you own or that you've acquired already. Whereas an RTM, that is being built off-site, usually at the RTM builders. So the difference between the two is just sort of how we have to structure the financing for the RTM is slightly different until that home moves and gets affixed to the land, and then it just acts like a traditional construction mortgage.
All right. Now, your construction mortgages also have something that I had never heard of before today, and that's called a progress advancement.
Yes.
Advance, rather. So what exactly is that?
Yeah. So we disperse funds based on percentage complete. So only once the work is completed, we'll send out an inspector. They will send us a report and tell us how much of the percentage percentage of the build is complete, and then we'll disperse the funds based on that.
And I would think that would be great, quite frankly. We've all heard horror stories about how things go sometimes. I think that would be great peace of mind and, quite frankly, protection for the homeowner.
Yes, absolutely. It's a safety net for both of us. Although you will be paying your deposits and things like that to get the work started, having that progress report and telling us what the percentage complete, it's a safety net for Affinity, and it's also a safety net for you as the member. Also keeps the contractor on the go. Yes, yeah, exactly. We want to keep them working. Exactly. So just in terms of local financing, how important is that? I think it's the utmost importance because we are, at Affinity, we're working in your community. We know those builders, we know the contractors, we've worked with them before, and we're also keeping that local community wheel turning, right? So I think it's really important that you have somebody that's local. And I should just every time I talk to someone who's a mobile mortgage specialist, I always ask, what exactly does that mean? That means that we can work wherever you need us, basically. So sometimes it's traditional to have a 9-to-5, right? And fitting us into that is hard. So we're there to meet you in the evening, sometimes meeting you at a coffee shop. Sometimes when I have mortgage documents and meeting you at work on a lunch break is the easiest thing, and I'm happy to do that anytime. Fair enough. For more information, people want to get in touch with you, what do they do? You can go online, find us online, or email us, drop by any advice center. We're always happy to help. Great. Adele Harrison from Affinity Credit Union, mobile mortgage specialist. Thank you so much. Thank you. You bet.
Well, it might be hard to tell with all of that snow out there, but spring really is right around the corner. This morning, I am down at Auto Mobility Medical right here in Regina, and I've got Sherry with me. Now, Sherry, tell me a little bit about these nice new rides that we're on right now.
These scooters are amazing. They go like 10 miles an hour. They have full suspension. They have baskets and little crooks and crannies. You can even charge your cell phones on them. They have the lights, the horn, the hazard lights. You name it. There's even an extra brake in case you get going too fast and you can't stop.
Amazing. All right, so a really great piece of equipment here to have in the springtime, especially when you're out and about outside. Tell me a little bit about how people can get fitted for these. How do they know which is right for them?
Well, all they need to do is come on down, have a look, try them out. We have a little racetrack in here that you could try, and then pick which one you like, no tax, and we'll deliver it for free.
Amazing. All right. Well, this is a great deal. You should definitely come down and take these for a test. What else do you guys have down here at Auto Mobility?
You name it, we pretty much have it. We have about 70,000 things in stock. We have 3 different lines of compression socks. We have 3 different lines of rollators. We have lift chairs, power chairs, other scooters, bathroom safety equipment, hip and knee stuff. You name it, we got it.
All right, and where can people find you?
At 1444 Lawrence Street.
Amazing. All right, and what is something that you think is one of the best offers you guys have here? What is something enticing for people to come on down?
Because we have so much. You're going to find what you want here. And if you can't, we can get it in.
Absolutely. All right, Sherry, thank you so very much. Once again, down at Auto Mobility Medical right here in Regina. Come take some of these scooters for a little test drive.
Unforgettable adventure? Indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for 2, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Enter online at ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca. Scan the QR code on your screen, and good luck.
Let's head back now to Janelle Lipai once more at the RCMP Heritage Center.
Hi, Jeremy. Good morning. Lots of fun ahead of us here, and I've got Sam Carica's with me as well. We're going to talk all about the upcoming event, Foul Play. Now, Sam, tell me a little bit about this event and what it holds.
So Foul Play this is actually our second annual Foul Play. This is a partnership with our friends at the Regina District Chamber of Commerce. We did it last year. We brought it back because it was such a huge hit, and it is an interactive crime-solving experience with a dinner.
Wow, so this sounds like a lot of fun, and a ton of work has been put into it. Tell me a little bit about what is in front of us on this table. These are some of the props that go into it as well.
Absolutely. So we're really proud. The Heritage Center actually creates the crime itself, so it's not something that we purchase and then we kind of have people do. Our team actually creates it. We create it based on actual crimes, based on news stories, based on and just imagination. And so when people come to the dinner, they will, every course, they'll get a new set of evidence. So they're trying to solve the crime before the dinner is over. You will actually get an envelope of evidence every single round.
Wow. Okay, so very realistic, a lot of fun. When is this happening?
This is on March 12th, and it's from 6 to 10 p.m., and you can get tickets online at the Regina Chamber.
Awesome, Sam. All right, well, thank you so much for this. We'll be back soon with a little bit more information. Once again, that is coming up March 12th, 6 to 10 p.m.
Terrifying moments at the home of singer Rihanna. Authorities say the 38-year-old superstar was home in her Beverly Hills mansion when a woman drove up to the house and opened fire.
Two shootings occurred, approximately 10 shots heard. EPR believes the shots came from across the street.
Officers say a woman in a Tesla started shooting an AR-style weapon around 1:15 in the afternoon. Multiple bullet holes visible in the side of Rihanna's home. We're told none of the bullets penetrated.
Suspect number one is a female Hispanic, blonde hair, 30 years.
Police using a helicopter to quickly identify the car and followed the driver to a local mall.
Servers out of the vehicle, units are approaching the vehicle.
Copy that. One suspect in custody.
Officers then taking the suspect into custody without incident. It's unclear if Rihanna's 3 young children or her partner, A$AP Rocky, were also home. A$AP Rocky was acquitted of 3 criminal charges last year after being accused of firing shots at his former friend, A$AP Relly.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
All right, now Will Reeve introduces us to a viral 3-year-old baseball prodigy.
Oh, baby! Little Waylon is only 3 years old, but you wouldn't be able to tell from watching him step into the batter's box.
Be able to throw a ball back and forth to my 3-year-old is just, it's amazing.
Justin Fletcher is Waylon's dad and personal baseball trainer.
Do you like hitting bombs better or making diving plays better?
Making diving plays better.
Wow.
They work out together from their own garage.
Small step and turn. Yeah, kind of like that. That's beautiful.
It all started before Waylon even took his first steps.
Literally before he knew how to stand up, I had a bat in his hand. Okay, that's an absolute seed up the middle. I love that.
Waylon's talent now getting the attention of millions.
This kid's going to be the first pick in 2055.
From Major League Baseball to college coaches.
Coaches just kind of reaching out and saying how amazing it is to see, you know, and how it looks like we're having a lot of fun, which has been the main ingredient in this whole thing.
But no matter what the future holds, it's the time they're spending together that matters most.
You like playing baseball?
I love playing baseball with him. The most important thing in this thing is the amount of fun we have.
Thank you for all the sports fans.
Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
Well, I think somebody's going to give him a college offer by the time he's 5.
Yeah, I would say so. Can you imagine having that kid on your T-ball team?
My goodness. Wow.
Not fair.
Time for your sidebar. A family photographer with an eye only for his best friend. Give this Todd a camera and the only pictures are of the puppy.
Aww.
Baylor loves the Frenchie named Barkley.
I love those trends where you give a camera to a kid and you see what their world looks like.
Oh, we've given one to Mateo. It's a lot of his Lego and his feet and the dog and his sister from like here. Like it's something.
It's what's important.
They're not developable, but they're there.
All right, let's head on over to another kid here. A 7-year-old boy from LA became a world record holder as the youngest runway fashion model. Now he's making history again. Max Alexander, I guess not model. The script, designer, yes. The script was unclear here. Max Alexander will become the youngest designer to ever debut a collection in Paris Fashion Week.
Are you kidding me? At 7?
His collection includes 15 dresses made of mainly recyclable materials.
Of course.
Max has been sewing and designing since he was just 4 years old.
Okay.
Wow.
What were you doing at 7?
Nothing that is of any use to me now.
Fashion Week?
Yeah. Good for him.
What is going on?
How do you get recognized at that age? Like, who's even giving you a second look?
Right?
All of these talented kiddos in the last block here that we're looking at, just like, I hope they're just having fun with it.
And I'm like, my kid crushes 8+ Lego. Let's go. He's 4. Like, this kid's going to Fashion Week, and the other one's hitting bombs and getting recognized by Jeter.
My kid is singing the Bear in the Big Blue House theme song.
A-Rod, right?
Yay.
Goodness gracious. That's it for us for today. You can find anything you missed on our website. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be back here tomorrow with a conversation with the Education Minister. We're going to clear up that whole mess around who qualifies and who doesn't for $10 a day childcare.